How's it going, everybody? Thank you very much for hanging out with me for a little while. It's always appreciated. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. And I'm talking about a film directed by Michael Curtiz that was released in 1942. Great black and white gem. Casablanca, one of the all-time great films. Great love story. So it is the month of February, Valentine's Day around the corner. So I thought this was quite fitting. Humphrey Bogart is terrific in this movie in the part of Rick. You got Ingrid Bergman as Ilsa, terrific. They have great chemistry in the film. There's a great love triangle here. Paul Henry plays Victor Laszlo. I was going to say Victor Zazlo. No, sorry, Victor Laszlo. And Ilsa and Rick used to know each other. And at the beginning of the film, they sort of established that this guy is sort of a little apathetic, kind of cynical. I stick my neck out for no one. He says that quite a bit. So many great lines in this film. Play it again, Sam. Of all the gin joints and all the towns in all the world, she walked into mine. Here's looking at you, kid. So many iconic moments. Just a all around brilliant film. To this day, people are still talking about it, still being spoofed. You probably already know the ending of this film, even though you haven't seen it. Just that iconic, really. Claude is great in the film as sort of a policeman that is a guy that sort of a buffer for everybody, making sure that the Third Reich sort of doesn't withstand their or overstep their bounds. But Major Strasser is pretty much the main antagonist of the film, the man trying to make sure nobody can really leave Casablanca. And so once Ilsa comes back into Rick's life and sort of turns his whole world upside down, it really adds a lot to the film, especially given that there's already a lot of tension going on all throughout this film, ever since the film, once it starts, because at the beginning of the film, we see that it is wartime, it is World War II, and they are in unoccupied France, so it's French Morocco and Casablanca, so it's kind of a neutral zone. But still, tensions are high, given they're at war. So you got the Allies, and you got America, American soldiers, and German soldiers, all hanging out at this place where every night is, just everybody, just illegal gambling going on. People drinking, having a good time, and Casablanca is sort of like a Mos Eisley type of place, but on planet Earth, really, in the 40s. All kinds of shady characters, vultures everywhere. And a place where there's a lot of people just trying to get out, a lot of refugees, a lot of people are sort of, on the shady side, sort of just happy to sort of kind of stay there and hide out. And for the most part, Rick is the main character, played by Humphrey Bogart, is very much, that kind of guy. He runs this cafe, nightclub place where Rick's American Cafe, where everybody's hanging out, the neutral zone. And Claude Rains really does steal a lot of great scenes in this film. Has so many great moments, great lines. I love the scene where he talks about how they bring him anything they want, anything he wants, they bring it to him, and he tears up the bill. It's a nice little convenient game they have. And Victor Laszlo, the character of Victor Laszlo, who is Ilsa's husband. This is a guy that is sort of a third wheel. We got two people that sort of reunite after many years, and of course Rick is going through a lot of things. He's feeling very conflicted, and this guy could have very easily been one of those characters that audiences could have hated, but this movie is so well written, so well directed, and the character is actually quite inspiring. He's a survivor of a POW camp who escaped a German POW camp. And he's sort of a leader of a resistance in the Czechoslovakia, I believe. And there's a great scene in the bar where the Germans are singing like a national anthem, and then they decide they're going to start. He decides he's going to start singing, and then everybody else joins in, and they sort of drown them out, and then the Germans stop singing, and then of course, because this guy is kind of important to his movement, and he's already causing problems, in Casablanca for Major Strasser, who doesn't want to let him leave, and will go to great lengths to keep him there. All this sort of builds and builds, and Rick sort of has some choices to make, and of course the old flame sort of sparks back up again for a little bit between him and Elsa. So it gets very, very interesting, and this is just a great, not just a great love story, but it's a great war film without the war, really, because you do feel up until the very end, when the closing scene, you do feel that the tensions is sort of slowly mounting up, as not only are you getting the main story, but every now and then they cut away to other people. There's a couple who's trying to get out, and Rick sort of helps them. This woman, her husband is losing a lot of money gambling, and Rick sort of helps him out, sort of win some money so that they can get out and get their visas. And everybody's having trouble getting their visas. They have to go through a lot of red tape to get on a plane to Lisbon. Everybody's trying to go to Lisbon to get the hell out of there, so that they can get to America or somewhere else. But yeah, there's so much going on, so many great little things happening in this film all at once. But at the same time, very simple story, very great, little simple love story. A lot of it told in many great flashback scenes where you see these two, Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, just had terrific chemistry. And of course, Sidney Greenstreet makes an appearance in this film. He's a fat man. They call him the Fat Man in Maltese Falcon. He's enjoyable here too, as sort of a rival to Rick, rival in business. And everybody's just so great. This is just such a great story. I have a lot of fun with upon rewatch. And I think this movie, endures for decades and will continue to endure for many more. These characters, especially Rick, the character of Rick, Victor Laszlo, they're just so cool and kind of inspiring. And, you add to the mix a, great love story, added with, just the fast-paced editing, given, early movie from the 40s. Very great watch, early 40s black and white film. This is considered by many one of the greatest films of all time, and I can completely see why, to be honest. It's definitely on my list. So 4 stars all the way. If you can't find it on streaming, I don't see why you can't. I know for a fact it's on HBO Max. They have the Turner Classic Movies section in there. So yeah, if you don't have HBO Max, they do have the hard copies. That's what it looks like. Classic film. Great characters. So many great, quotable lines. Once you watch this film, you might want to just revisit it. Not that long after. Just one of those films that just has a great feel to it from beginning to end. So many great directors borrowed from this. Spielberg, when he was doing Raiders of the Lost Ark, borrowed quite a bit from Casablanca. So a very influential film. One of the greatest of all time. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close it there. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Appreciate it. I know sometimes I can go on and on and on. I'm going to try and tone it back a little bit if I'm making these too long. Apologize. But yeah, I lose myself, I guess, when I start talking about these old classics. So, but yeah, thank you very much for hanging in there. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, those of you that do watch. And please be sure to, if you do like, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, I got way more reviews coming out in the near future. We have so many films to talk about. We have so many great films from the old days, and even a few modern classics that I will be talking about very soon. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, share, and until next time, peace.